Hey friends, and Reddy here, back with another video update. I got three titles for you today. All of them are horror, and all of them are in the found footage subgenre. I'm just gonna get right into it. First title is The Devil Inside. The main reason why I picked this movie up was the curiosity that finally got to me. Not so much how good the movie was, but I was interested in seeing what people hated about the movie. And I'll start with the good first. This film had some really good exorcism scenes, even better than those in The Last Exorcism, which this film would be the most comparable to. The plot of this film is like this young woman finds out that her mother killed some people during an exorcism, and for some reason she's moved to Rome because she was found not guilty by reason of insanity. So she was in a sanitarium in Rome. So she decides to hook up with a documentary filmmaker and go to Rome to visit her mother. And of course there's like this whole big conspiracy and stuff like that. This film, for the most part, I did enjoy it up until the ending. And the main problem with this movie is basically there is no ending. And I know one of the other YouTubers went on a rant a while back about the found footage subgenre. And I always have a problem with these movies that pretty much all have the same ending where pretty much everybody's dead or whatever, or gives that appearance. And it's almost like ever since, well, actually Cannibal Holocaust is probably the first movie to use that ending where the last person to hold the camera pretty much gives you like the last shot in the film. And then Blair Witch did it, and everybody took it off from there. If this film, if they just could have came up with a better ending, it just needed like another 15 minutes or so, and they probably could have had another franchise like Paranormal Activity, which also uses the same lame everyone's dead ending as well. But unfortunately, you know, they went with what they did. You'd think they would have tested the ending and saw, but they just went for a fast money grab. You know, so they really should have changed the ending of this movie, and it would have been like a perfect movie. And I don't even like found footage films that much. Alright, my next pickup is Atrocious. Now this is a Spanish found footage horror film. I was just laughing a little bit thinking about the title. Like, it's always tricky when you name your movies something that could be used as a negative. I mean, the film's called Atrocious, and you go, how was it? Well, it was atrocious. But this film is about this family that goes to their old family home for the summer. And I guess there's like this there's like a forced maze in the backyard which they're forbidden to go into, and there's also like a story, a legend that goes with the maze about a ghost woman that died in the maze. And so basically this film is about like the son, oldest son, and then the daughter decide they want to shoot a documentary about the legend. And then of course it leads to some tragedy. This film is atypical of the found footage films where it's really dull for the most part, you know, because not much really happens until like the last like 25 minutes of the movie. So it's pretty much like watching home movies, which is always a problem with this subgenre, like the whole reasoning of like why you're shooting. And the main problem I have with movies like this is when things start to turn bad, there really isn't any reason to keep filming, you know. And that's always the crux with these movies. Like at some point, you got to put the camera down, right, and just try to survive. But this movie for me was saved by the ending because it goes on a little bit more. Like usually with these types of movies, when the last person holding the camera gets killed, the movie's usually done. Where this movie goes on a little bit and it tries to explain a little bit what you saw and why it happened. This film too is also presented as being like a police footage. I was going to show the back of this DVD, but there's like a big spoiler picture on the back, so I'm not going to bother showing that. But this movie I'd recommend maybe for like a rental like on Netflix or something. But I wouldn't recommend to buy, because you'd probably only watch it just once. Alright, now on to my last pickup. This one's an Australian film. This one's called The Tunnel. Now this one is different than the other two movies in that this one is presented as being like a documentary, which the Blair Witch Project was originally supposed to be, until they found out that the last broadcast was made around the same time, so they just went with the kind of narrative thing with people shooting the camera. Where this movie, as they show you the footage that is shot, they go back and they talk about it. Now this has its pluses and minuses. The plus on the plus side is it gives you, it looks more real when you see people talking about things that had happened, as opposed to just, you know, the camera is like a character type of thing, like with the other type of found footage films. And another reason is that the way this film was shot, because this film is about like an Australian TV crew who are, I guess they come onto the story because there was plans to use this water that was in the sewers to recycle as in drinking water, and then the plan gets shut down, and their big thing becomes, why was this, you know, this whole plan shut down? They spent a lot of money and they shut down. Then of course they start hearing stories about something being in the sewers, and they decide to go in themselves, and then things go horribly wrong. And that's where the problems come in, because they interview the people that went into the sewer, the TV film crew, so you pretty much have an idea of who lives and who dies. At the same time, it also gives you more motivation why, and actually an idea of why they continued filming, because that's their job, as opposed to some kid just holding a video camera, you know, or when the zombies or giant monsters attacks and they're still filming instead of putting the camera down and getting the hell out of there, or, you know, trying to fight. This movie I do recommend. Out of all three of them, this is my favorite one. This movie kind of reminded me a little bit of Creep, and what was the other movie there? Raw Meat. But I enjoyed this one the most out of the three of them. So this one was a blind buy for me too. I wasn't sure about this one, but I was pleased when it was over. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.